and welcome back to our second day of writing instruction. Yesterday we read a passage called Piano Music, and we discussed what a prompt is, and we even gave it a little nickname. So let's think for a second back to what is a prompt. I'll give you a second to think. A prompt is what comes at the end of a passage, and it is something that asks you to reevaluate what you just read and to write about it. And yesterday we identified our prompt after, and it says writing prompt right there, and it asked us to explain how Henry's choice was difficult and why he did it. And what nickname did we give a prompt? What is it also known as? Give you a second to think. We said that a prompt could also be called a bossy sentence. It can be called a bossy sentence because it's asking you, actually it's not even asking, it's telling you what to write about. So, after reading this whole big long thing about the writing prompt, we can identify the specific bossy sentence. So we went through yesterday and we read it and we crossed out the sentences that really didn't matter to our overall instruction. And we underlined or highlighted what the main bossy sentence was telling us to do. So everyone today on their passage and their writing prompt should have highlighted where it says, explain how Henry's choice was difficult and why he did it. So today we're going to dig a little bit deeper, and we're going to be going back into our passage and finding evidence that helps us support our claim or our answer to the prompt. So we can go back and let's just start right where it says number 1, right at the beginning of our passage, and let's just slowly read through, and we'll stop when we think we might find some evidence to support our claim. Okay? So let's start on number 1. It says, Henry listened carefully as his piano teacher finished his lesson. Henry loved learning how to play the piano. He looked forward to his lessons each week. Miss Jones reminded him to practice every night and then said goodbye. Henry walked out of her house with a smile. He saw his friend Daniel outside. He was Mrs. Jones's next student. Daniel looked upset. He had forgotten his piano music in his grandma's car. He was worried about what Miss Jones would think. He did not want to go inside. Henry looked down at his hands. He used the same music as Daniel. Henry's mom liked him to keep track of his things. Henry had been losing items lately. His mom might be frustrated if he did not come back with his music. Let's stop right there. Number 4 kind of stands out to me, but I'm going to go back and reread my prompt again because that's going to help me to understand what I'm specifically looking for. So I'm going to go back to my writing prompt, and I'm just going to look at the bossy sentence that we identified. It says, explain how Henry's choice was difficult. Well, we'll stop right there and just do the first part. Why was his choice difficult? It says, I'm going back and reading number 4. Henry looked down at his hands. He used the same music as Daniel. So that's probably why he wanted to offer up his music. Henry's mom liked him to keep track of his things. Henry had been losing items lately. His mom might be frustrated if he did not come back with his music. So that kind of identifies why his choice would be difficult, because he's already been losing things, and it says his mom might be frustrated if he didn't come back with his music. So that could make this decision a little bit difficult. And then it says why he did it. Well, if we read the first part of that, it says Henry looked down at his hands. He used the same music as Daniel. So maybe that could be a reason why he did it. So we could honestly underline everything in that number 4 point. So I'll hold it up so you can see a little bit better. This number 4, that kind of answers a lot of our prompt. So that could be a little part in our passage that you underline to help support your overall claim. But let's keep reading and see if we might find something else that could help us. So go to number 5, and it says, Henry looked at Daniel's face. It was dropping like a melting ice cream cone. Henry felt bad for Daniel. Well, does that answer the question of why Henry's choice was difficult? Not really. Why he did it? Let's see. It says Henry felt bad for Daniel. So yeah, that would be one reason why he did it. So you could underline that sentence too. Let's go on to number 6. It says, use my music, he told his friend. I forget things too. Maybe that could be a reason why he did it. He forgets things too. Everybody makes mistakes. So you can underline that. Number 7, Daniel's face began to beam. Henry's heart felt happy. Henry walked home. His mom looked down at his hand and frowned. She noticed Henry's music was missing. Did we lose our music again, Henry? She asked crossly. Henry told her about Daniel. I wanted to help my friend, Henry said. Does that answer why he did it? Yes, he wanted to help his friend. So you can underline that too. His mom looked at him with kindness. She gave him a big hug. You are such a sweet boy, she said. You make me very proud. So we just went back and we reread our passage and we identified some evidence that supports our overall prompt. And let's just reread our prompt one more time just to make sure that we really found some strong evidence to support our claim. It says, explain how Henry's choice was difficult and why he did it. Well, you should be able to go back into your passage and see what you underlined and just make sure that it specifically relates to the overall prompt and what the prompt is bossing you to answer. And if it does, then you're on the right track. So, after we have reread our passage and we've reread our prompt plenty of times, we went back and identified some evidence to support our claims. So tomorrow, we're going to begin brainstorming some ways that we could answer this prompt in writing. And then the following day, we will write a rough draft of our response to the prompt. And then on the final day, we are going to edit and finalize our our response to the prompt so that we are submitting our best work and we have a really good understanding of our passage and a really strong response to our prompt. So by the end of this week, I know we will have some even stronger writers and we will have a great understanding of what a prompt is asking us to do and some key things to remember when you're writing. And we're just going to be strengthening our skills even from home. So this just shows that you don't have to be at school to learn, but it is always helpful to be learning anywhere you are. I miss you guys, and hopefully I will see you soon. But we will get back on here tomorrow to continue our learning. See ya!